Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're gonna talk about why people feel anxiety and depression and any kind of mental problems. So, I am not a psychologist or I don't have any clinical expertise, and I myself is almost most of the time I am stressed and anxious. So, I am not talking about the cure. I am only talking about the view of the psychologist Carl Jung about this topic, who was a psychoanalyst and psychologist. So the symptoms of neurotic symptoms, that is called by Jung, that is he says that depression, anxiety, anger, extreme anger and sadness, this kind of stuff are the symptoms of neurotic feelings. Okay, so we have to understand why these neurotic feelings occurs in our life. So as Jung says that every human being has a soul, and as every human has certain things that they are destined to achieve and their soul is craving to be. Jung divided the human beings into two types. One kind of human being who suffer from neurotic symptoms because they don't want to be normal, and there is other kind of human beings who suffer through the neurotic symptoms because they want to be normal. So we have to understand what is the difference between these two. First kind of people, they are actually wanting to be abnormal. That doesn't mean no in a bad way, because this kind of people mostly suffer through neurotic symptoms because their soul or their heart wants to do something big. They want to be individual, they want to be something special, they want to achieve something big, but due to the confirmation of the society they live in, due to conforming to the authority, they try but it can't be individual and they can't form individual identity, so they stay and conform to the society's norms, and these things creates neurotic episodes in their life. And the other kind of people, these people are showing neurotic symptoms because they are faced with stuff and challenges which they don't want to take. Like these people wants to stay in bed and be comfortable and don't want to change their life, but they are forced to meet some deadline or something, that is they have to give an exam, they have to do some challenge, anything that they don't want to do, and so they feel stressed and anxious. We also have to understand there is two kinds of suffering as per Jung in this world. One is suffering of consciousness, like when we seek suffering consciously, and another kind is unconscious suffering, when we don't know why we are suffering. As per Jung, conscious suffering is always very better. Every human should strive to have conscious suffering. Conscious suffering makes an individual, they helps us grow and personality and identity and being our own self, achieve a lot of stuff. Conscious suffering is the suffering of mind and body which we put through ourselves, and unconscious suffering is when we conform to the society, to the authority, and we don't want to change ourselves and we just stay normal and simple. That thing makes our soul crave a lot of stuff which it is destined to experience but it is not experiencing. So the symptoms of neuroticism comes to existence. So we have to understand, Jung also talk about two kind of realms, that is inner realm and outer realm. We have to understand what kind of realm the humans stay in. He talked that humans are actually between the inner realm and outer realm. Humans are sometimes watching inner realm and sometimes watching outer realm. It is really very important to understand that every human needs to look at both of the realms. Most of the time humans ignore their inner realms and focus most on the outer realms, but if we don't look at our specific needs, our shadows, and what we want, what we are actually, then we just conform to what we are given to us. We just listen to what anybody else says us to do or be. So we don't want to reach or be something special. So that leads to mostly neurotic symptoms. But as we can all see, that being an individual and creating an individual identity is not that easy in this world, because when a child is born, that child is pure and that child is totally connected with his destiny and with his purpose. But the parents and the teachers and the society molds that child as they want it to be. So being an individual or not an individual, being an specific person or special, or being normal within a group, is totally depends on the culture and the country and the geographical location people belongs in. But generally, Jung spoke that if somebody tries to be individual and tries to seek conscious suffering and tries to follow the conscious suffering path till the end of that person's life, then they person would be really free of neurotic symptoms, and that is how they can live their destiny, they can choose their purpose, and they can reach full human potential. So this is what was his view. So we can summarize that as per Jung, if anybody is having any kind of depression, anxiety, stress, anger, or any kind of negative emotions in their life, they have to look in their life and they have to look what is not supporting their inner feelings, their hearts, and they have to find that way and they have to follow the path of individuation, and they have to follow it until their gut or their heart says that they are in a wrong path. If some feelings say that they are in a wrong path, they should change their path. Otherwise, till the day they die, they should follow the path of individuation and this path to reach something bigger and be special, and not listen to what anybody else says to you. Jung spoke that if anybody wants to be healed and well and happy, then that person must follow his duties. They have to do and perform all the duties that a human needs to do to suffer and to survive in this world, so they can be normal and well. So this is what was Jung or Carl Jung's view on neurotic symptoms or any kind of negative mental feelings. What is your view on it? I want to know about it, and hopefully I tried my best to explain it as simply as possible. I thought and I hope that you understand it. So thank you so much, and live a happier and more healthier life. Thank you. Bye bye.